Okay. So last week we saw the mandalas around Devi, the various devatas, the various all forms of beings, starting from Bhairava, Bhairavi, Yaksha, Gandharva, Siddhangana. So all the women, all the men, all the different kinds of beings that are there. A lot of beings we said we are able to perceive. A lot of beings we cannot perceive. We are not able to see them in our present state of perception. Our level of perception, we are not able to see these beings. But there are beings that are available at different um, um, subtleties, different levels of different levels of subtleties. There are these different beings that are available. Some people have the ability, if you're sensitive enough, they have the ability to receive and also transact and talk to these, or essentially communicate with these deities, right? In fact, once there was a Mahan who materialized something from thin air, okay, just to show that it's possible. And then people around him were surprised how he did this. And he said, I have agents who can bring this to me. He said, like, for example, the Rudraksha, he said that this Rudraksha that I've materialized, it's not actually, I didn't materialize it. It has come from the original Rudraksha tree in, say, Nepal or Rishikesh or someplace. And then when he was asked how did this come to you, he says, I have agencies that can bring this to me. So there is a possibility of some of these agents or some of these communications that we can establish with some of these beings that exist at different levels or different planes of existence within the same space. So we saw that mandala, how beautifully all these different beings are surrounding Devi, and we saw they can be beneficial in our own journey towards Devi. Our own journey towards Devi is essentially something that needs as many aids and agencies as possible. As long as our goal is Dridha Nishchaya, there is a Dridha Nishchaya of the Purushartha. Dridha Nishchaya means established firm conviction. Firm conviction of what? Of the Purushartha, or of the end goal that we're wanting to achieve. If that is established clearly, then anything that can come in the way can be used as a tool, right? Like, for example, if you're going on a very difficult pilgrimage, and if suddenly something comes, even a small thing like a thread can be useful on the journey. So if you find or somebody has dropped a small rope, you'll probably take it and keep it, because you don't know in that journey where it might be useful. Something you may have to tie somewhere, something it may be useful, because it's an arduous journey. It's an arduous journey, and you don't know you don't know what's going to come in front of you. So in such journeys, a yatra, which is our life, life is essentially a yatra towards, we're moving towards that understanding, that sense of understanding of the truth. And in this journey, the smallest thing can be useful, right? One second. Sorry. So the smallest thing can be useful. When I say the smallest thing is the smallest, like the example of Rama, the squirrel in Rama's story is spoken about, right? It's so beautifully spoken about how these squirrels, they thought that they are of no use, but then Rama gave them the empowerment to be useful. He said, no, why? Even little small stones that you bring can be valuable in this large journey. So in that way, we should always consider whoever comes around in our journey. Again, there must be a clear, firm conviction of the Purushartha. This is very important. We have to establish what our Purushartha is, what our goal is. If my goal is to get material gains, then to that extent some of these forces and energies will come and we can use them, but then there are repercussions, right? Anything that comes in our life as a material gain, there are repercussions. Why? Because after you enjoy it, there is a karma that is always associated with that desire, and you don't know how that karma is going to turn around and give you, take you in other directions, generate other desires. We don't know. So as long as there is this clarity in terms of what my goal is, what my intentions are in terms of where do I want to go, then we can use all of these entities and beings, energies as an aid in that direction. Okay. So that, remember that mandala, just have to remember that mandala where all of these are there in different places of the mandala, even the sounds, all forms of sounds, all forms of sight, all forms of all the whatever the pancha indriyas, pancha jnanendriyas receive, these can also be put to use in that direction, right? So remember that our yatras that we go, particularly to a pilgrimage or a temple, is certainly a yatra, which is a focused yatra. But day to day, we are living a life as a yatra. Day to day, there is a journey that we are making from morning till night. There are different journeys that you make. You make journeys on the outside, you make journeys with your family, with your loved ones, with the people in your at your work, with yourself. There are journeys that you make. You get from one place to another. And in this, whatever that comes in our way, we have to be receiving and a little sensitive and open. Otherwise, it will be a missed opportunity. A lot of times, suddenly something will happen to help us to get to something, and we may, because we are so preoccupied with something else, we may miss the opportunity of using that aid or help that has been given. Because nature always will assist you in whatever determination that you make. In whatever determination that you make in your life, this is the purpose of my yatra, this is where I need to get to. Once we make that particular determination, then things in nature, and this is also from personal experience I'm saying, things around you will start changing, shifting, moving, aligning to assist you in this direction. And then we also start becoming more and more sensitive and receptive to the assistance that is given around us. Why? Because your goal, your aim, your intention, your purushartha is established. It's very clearly established. Okay? So, in those lines, um, he is going further. Kalidas is going further to say, Bhairavi Samvrute. We saw till Bhairavi Samvrute, and then he goes on to say, Panchabanatmike Panchabanena Ratyacha Sambhavite. So, this also I think we discussed. This is about Rati and Kamadeva, who is Rati's husband. And he is the Panchabana that he holds is also associated with the Panchabana that Devi holds. Pancha Tanmatra Sayaka. So she is one who's holding Panchabana, and Rati's husband Kamadeva is also holding Panchabana. What it means is that the Panchabana that is held by Devi is Kamadeva's Panchabana. The result of those Panchabanas essentially to drive um, to which means to show that she is in control of Kama, Kameshwari. She is Kameshwari. She is in control of Kama. The Panchabana that represents Kamadeva is in the hands of Devi, means she is in control of Kamadeva. Then comes, so Sambhavite. Sambhavite means honored by. She is honored by this Kamadeva. Priti bhaja vasantena chanandite. Priti bhaja vasantena. So she is propitiated, anandite. She is enjoying the Vasanta. Which Vasanta? Or in this case, Kamadeva earlier was Kamadeva. When he mentions Panchabanena, what does he say? Panchabanatmike Panchabanena Ratyacha Sambhavite. So here the reference is Kamadeva, and the next reference is of the god of spring, the lord of spring, Vasanta. So Preeti Bhaja Vasantena Anandite. So she is finding joy, or she is Anandite by the Vasanta who's Preeti Bhaja. Preeti Bhaja means the Vasanta who is Devi's affectionate, that Vasanta she enjoys. Okay. Preeti Bhaja Vasantena cha Anandite. So she enjoys that Vasanta, that spring, which enjoys her affection. You understand how? So she likes spring, and that spring's form she enjoys. Preeti Bhaja Vasante. Na? Preeti Bhaja means she is the one who, the Vasanta, who is the dear one. The Vasanta who is the dear one of Devi, by that Vasanta, Devi enjoys. Bhakti bhajam param shreyase kalpase. Those devotees who are ever singing your glories, Bhakti bhajam param shreyase kalpase. So those devotees who are singing your glories, you are inclined towards them. Kalpase. You are wanting to be in their presence. See, what is interesting here is to notice that, see how the relationship is brought here in the previous one and this one. Preeti Bhaja Vasantena Chanandite. Which means the Vasanta who is dear to her, she enjoys the presence of that Vasanta. And then Bhakti Bhajam Param Shreyase, those bhaktas who sing your glories, those who are devoted to you, she enjoys in their presence. So it is a mutual engagement. It is mutual in nature. It's like saying, excuse me, it's like saying, if I adore my mother who loves me. It's like saying like that, right? I adore my mother who loves me. So you see, there is a correlation here. I adore my mother, and it's not that she doesn't have something to reciprocate. She loves me back. And again, it's not because she loves me back, I adore her. It's because you don't know where it begins. It's like a chicken and egg. You don't, because you adore, does she love you? Or are you adoring her because she is loving you? You don't know.
Exclusive.
Huh?
Mutually exclusive.
Mutually inclusive in a way, because they include each other without knowing, without knowing the intention of the other. So there means there is an unconditional engagement here. If you notice, there's an unconditional engagement. I love this person, I adore the person who loves me. So now, and the person who loves me is adored by me, both ways if you look at it. So in this case, you don't know which began first. And in this case, there is no way of knowing which began first, because this can happen only when both of them start engaging in this fashion unconditionally. So I adore you unconditionally, I love you unconditionally. Only when that happens, then this engagement can happen. Otherwise, if one has to wait for the other to reciprocate, then this engagement will not happen. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, who's to take the first step in the direction? So in the same way, when I am adoring Devi, when she loves my presence, bhakti bhajam param shreyase, if if I am to glorify Devi and she loves to be in my presence. Now, when I say this, is is it because she loves to be in my presence, I adore her, or I worship her, or because I worship her, she's coming to me? I don't know. One thing I know, that what I can do is I worship her, I love her, I rejoice her, I glorify her. This I know I can do. What she has to do is her business. So you put yourself in a position of not judging what the other person is going to give you in return. And more so in a divine relationship with Bhagavan, the relationship that we build is not transactional in nature. The reason I took the example of a mother is like that. The transaction, the nature of transaction, if you notice, there's one movie, there are a couple of movies made like that, um, Bollywood movies. This one movie where Sanjay Dutt, I don't know, Kailash, if you've seen this movie, Vastav, movie by Sanjay Dutt, and
I've seen this.
you've seen this, right? I don't remember who played the mother's role. Uh, Renuka? No,
Rema Lagu.
Rema Nago's. Okay.
Rema Lagu.
So the son goes completely astray. The son goes completely astray and he becomes a gangster and all of that. And he is not able to turn back. And the mother drives him away because she loves him too much. She loves him too much and says that I can't see you suffering through this, and I can't see you going through this kind of a life that you're leading. You're thinking it's bringing you a lot of money, a lot of wealth, and a lot of people are fearing you and all of that. But the way you're going is completely wrong. And it pains my heart severely. So, but the what they call as the mamta, the feeling of that mother, the mamta that she has towards the end, when he comes back towards the end of the movie, he's so exhausted. He's driven here and there. He's driven by, there's police chasing, there are his enemies chasing, there are friends betraying him. All of that happens. And at the end, he comes and he lies down on his mother's lap and he says, I am tired. I want to rest. And I think Kailash, if I remember, the mother shoots him. Something like that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the one.
So he gives the gun and places the gun and says that I am completely tired, mother. I'm really exhausted. So she releases him in a way, right? So because he's gone astray and he doesn't know how to come back, he doesn't know what else to do. And the mother, out of complete love and compassion, releases him. Now, who's to say what is the right thing there to do, right? But what is the intention with which she is doing is important. The intention with which she is pained. Her heart is so much in pain. She is unable to see her son in so much pain, and he has now come. He himself says that I submit myself to you. I surrender myself to you. I want to rest. I want to just rest in peace. So like that, this example just came in mind is to show in that relationship, um, that continues to be there, the thread of unconditional love, or love that is not bound by what you do, why you do, how you do, and all of that. That is kind of not there. At any point you come, it's available. So in that way, with the um, with Devi, with Mother, with Divine Mother in that sense, if we have that relationship, then it is not because she loves me that I do these things, or it is not that because I do these things she loves me. This goes on and on and on. It's cyclical in nature. The engagement is cyclical in nature, and it doesn't stop. It doesn't.
Mother, can you explain why it's not mutually exclusive also? I mean, that's not clear to me.
No, okay. What is the meaning of mutually exclusive? I wasn't.
Okay, mutually
I
exclusive is
can.
like irrespective of the other one, like there is no
Mhm.
relation. Yeah.
Understood, understood. Yeah. In that context, yes, mutually exclusive is right. What I meant to say is mutually inclusive means you include the other person in your emotion. That is what I meant, mutually inclusive. But yeah, in terms of dependence, it is mutually exclusive. Correct. That is correct. When you're saying that I don't love you. I love you despite who you are.
Irrespective of what, whether you respect, don't respect, whatever.
Yes,
Right? So,
yes, correct. So irrespective or despite who you are, what you are, I love you. So this one. Now, so these two lines kind of indicate that kind of engagement that we have with mother. Hmm? Preeti bhaja vasante na chanandite bhakti bhajam param shreyase kalpase. So she gets um, inclined towards those devotees who sing her glories. Yoginam manase dyotase. Yoginam manase, in the yogis' minds or hearts, you shine. Dyotase, dyuti, to shine. Chandasa mojasa bhrajase. Chandasam ojasa bhrajase. Chandasam, you shine or you illumined by the power, ojas, of chandas. Chandasam. Chandas is one of the angas of Vedas, Vedanga. And it is because of the Vedas we know Devi. We know Devi only because of the Vedic, the Vedas that we have, the Vedic literature that we have. It is only through that we know Devi. And what is Chandas? Chandas is essentially one of the six, the Shadangas of the Veda. Chandas essentially is meter. Chandas means meter. And meter is one of the, and Taittiriya Upanishad talks about Chanda Shastra. So the Vedas illumine Devi so that we can see her. It is the power of the Vedas. Chandasam Ojas. Ojas means the power. The power of Vedas, through that she is Bhrajase. She is illumined. Then Gita Vidya Vinodati Trishnena Krishnena Sampujyase. So you are worshipped by Krishnena, by Krishna. Sampujyase. What type of Krishna? Atitrishnena. He is somebody who is out of intense desire. Atitrishnena vinodate. Vinodate means enjoys. What? Gita Vidya. So you are worshipped by that Krishna who is out of intense desire for music, intense desire and joy of music. That Krishna worships you. Hmm? So these are all sambodhanas which are in passive sense. in a, so by the Krishna who enjoys playing music and listening to music or playing music, Gita Vidya, Vinoda Atitrishnaena, such a Krishna Krishnaena, Sampujyase, you are worshipped by such a Krishna. Bhaktimat chetasa vedhasa stuyase. You are um, praised, stuyase, stuti, stuti gayati, stuyase, stiti gayase, stuti gayase. So who's singing your stuti here? Vedhasa. Vedhasa also means Brahma, the Lord of Veda, Brahma. He is out of full devotion. Bhaktimat chetasa. Out of full devotion of his heart. Bhaktimat chetasa stuyase. And then Vishwahridyena Vadyena Vidyadharair Giyase. Vidyadharaihi. Vidyadharas. Vidyadharas are some form of Gandharvas. Vidyadharas. Who with their musical instruments. Vadyena. With their musical instruments. Vishwahridyena. Vishwahridyena Vadyena. So the Vadya is such that it can captivate everybody. Hmm? The Vishwa Hridyena Vadyena. So the Vadyas that you have, musical instruments that they have, it captivates all. With such instruments, they sing your glories. Who? The Vidyadhara. Okay. The Vidyadharas are captivating you by playing the captivating instruments which captivates the world. The instruments with which they play have the power to captivate the world, and they use that to sing your glories. Vidyadharaihi giyase. Katham giyase? Vishwahridyena Vadyena. How do they sing? With the help of the Vishwahridyena Vishwahridya Vadyena giyase. So these are all now a few other um beings or deities that are brought together to show how they are singing your glories. Now if you have seen any form of this, um, my mother has painted one Rama Pattabhishekam in the mural style. So if you see that, so Rama and Sita are here, of course Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, and then Hanuman, they're all there. But there are so many other people, and then there are people who play, who dance, who sing, they're also around. So a lot of these people are there around who are um, creating a lot of auspicious music, auspicious sound. See, music that is a sound that is pleasant to the ear is music. Correct? It is sound only. It's only sound. It's just pleasant to the ear. So then we call it music. Or it is structured in a certain way. It's structured so that it sounds nice. Now, who are you trying to please? You're trying to please the mother of all Vidya, Matangi, Raja Shyamala, Neela Saraswati. So she is the embodiment of all Vidya, all forms of arts, all forms of Kala, all. She is the um, she is a Nityakala Devi, which means all forms of arts originates from her. So she is now propitiated with what she loves the most. So if you see the last few verses, excuse me, after bhakti bhajam param shreyase kalpase, then you have yogina manase dyutase, chandasam ojasa bhrajase. So chandas is meter, samaveda chandas. So chandas is meter, which is music. Then Gita Vidya Vinodati Krishnena Sampujyase. So the Krishna who is playing music, who loves to play music, is worshipping you. So that kind of Krishna is worshipping you. Then comes Bhaktimat Chetasa Vedasa Stuyase. Brahma, he is now praising you with a heart full of this thing. And again, Brahma is the originator of the Vedas. And again, Brahma is also, in a way, in the iconography, Brahma is the male form, or the husband of Saraswati, right? He's the husband of Saraswati. So he is also praising you. And Vishwahrudyena Vadyena Vidyadharaihi Giyase. So they are also, all these Vidyadharas are also playing instruments and pleasing you, worshipping you. So all of this, you notice, these are ways in which you propitiate Devi. Nama Sankirtanam Pannugo. Raghu was telling me today, he's organized a Nama Sankirtanam at his place. Very beautiful. So probably on Sunday or something, he's going to have that. Doing things like Nama Sankirtanam, etc., it increases, it does multiple things actually. If we sing and even dance, of course, with the right intention of devotion, the things that it does is, one is it transforms the energy of the space. Okay, excuse me. It transforms the energy of the space. That whole one way is to do through homa or Vedic chanting or mantras. We can transform the space. The other is by doing Nama Sankirtanam. Because in Nama Sankirtanam, what happens? It's not just the sound, but the bhava. It's multifold. You will see in Nama Sankirtanam, people go into very deep states of devotion. They'll feel associated with Bhagavan, with the Ishta Devata. There are people who will have tears in their eyes.
It makes us forget the self.
Correct. That individuality is diminished slowly. Individuality diminishes. What happens is there is this sense of that which the dhyaya object of meditation remains. The meditator slowly dissolves. Right? So this happens in Nama Sankirtanam without much effort of yourself. Somebody else is singing. Right? That is the beauty. There are people who will come, you invite them, they will sing, and what you're doing, you're just being in that presence of that environment. You feel some song, just be there in that presence. Some song will connect somewhere inside. Some song will make you feel very meditative. Some song will make you feel like singing along. Some song will, sometimes it will make you stand up and dance also, right? Like even Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to suddenly get up and get into Bhava Samadhi in Nama Sankirtanam. Stand up and dance. And some songs you'll just feel like looking at Bhagavan, looking at Devi, looking at Krishna, looking, and then you'll probably have tears. Not for a particular reason. It's just tears of joy, of devotion. So what happens is
the famous வந்து நம்ம இவரு விட்டல் தாஸ் பண்றவங்க பஜனை எல்லாம் பண்ணுவாரு. I
under
seen
the
people
abangs எல்லாம்
just அபங்கெல்லாம் வந்து people really lose their identities, and they will not know what they are doing at all, because they try to merge with Krishna. பாண்டவங்களோட அதே merge ஆகிறது வந்து நானே கேட்டிருக்கேன் நிறைய. You really can't control yourself.
correct.
And if suppose இது ஒரு half an hour 1 hour இருந்தா கூட அந்த 1 hourல வந்து you just don't think about anything else other than Bhagavan. அதாவது ஒரு பியூட்டி.
True. And without much effort on your own accord, right? Very little effort that all the effort you're putting is being there. Right?
ப்ராபப்ளி அது நம்மளோட எல்லாரோட ஒரு இன்னேட் டிசைர் லாங்கிங் ஃபார் மியூசிக் அண்ட் விச் இஸ் டிவைன். சரி, நம்ம வந்து சாதாரண பாட்டு கேட்கும்போது பாட்டு கேட்டுனே டிரைவ் பண்ணோம், அது பண்ணோம், எல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்போம். பட் இது வந்து இது அந்த அந்த பாட்டு விரும்புவோம், ஆனா we lose ourselves. No other thought is there.
Very true. In fact, those who have seen this Shivakumar Mama, who Pramod's father, he came along with us for the yatra, for the Kedar yatra. He is 71, 72 now, and he's been doing with a group of people. He's been doing bhajans and nama sankirtanam. He's part of this Mulund Bhajana Samaj in Bombay. He's been doing this, and he's learned to sing ashtapadis and many songs and all that. And it's almost like an he's addicted to it. It's an intoxication. It's an intoxication. You get so addicted to that joy that you derive from this, because like Mama saying, what are you addicted to there is essentially that you lose yourself, and there is absolutely no sense of judgment. Who's thinking what, who's thinking, you cross all that. And sometimes when you just sing along, you don't think about do I know the raga, do I know the swara, do I know the tala. You just Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, it goes on. You also just go on with that. No? And this, in a way, the ISKCON group has mastered this Nama Sankirtanam. They really mastered it. They can actually get people swaying. They do that in streets, right? In Europe and all, they'll get onto the street and they'll do Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, and then people will just follow. Now, what is happening is, I think again, like the way Mama said, there is this innate desire to tune in ourselves to some of this music that is elevating. This elevating music is something that we like to associate ourselves with without us knowing it consciously. So, what happens in Nama Sankirtanam, in the presence of what you're actually doing is you're invoking the divine. There is invocation that is happening without us very little rituals. Usually the invocation happens through rituals, right? Usually Ganana Twa Ganapatikum, so you're invoking Ganesha. You do each of these mantras to invoke each of these deities. But here there is invocation that is happening out of bhavana, out of love, not out of mantra. The invocation is happening from the heart. It is not from the mind. It is not from the intellect. So when that kind of invocation happens, the presence of the deity is felt in that place. Right? And then that invocation creates an aura or ambience in that place. Tirunangura, I don't know which place is this, where they have this Haridosgiri's. I've been there a few years ago. I think Kailash, we also went in that. Tirukovilur, exactly. It's closer to Tirukovil. Kailash, we went on this 3-4 day yatra. Remember, we did the Panchabhutalinga.
Yes,
We did that, no? So Tirunang. I always keep forgetting the name. It's a very beautiful temple, and the gopuram of the temple is built like the Puri Jagannath temple, and inside you have Vitthal. And they are Vithala and Radha Rakumai. They are.
Oh yes, we took a detour and went
I
there.
remember.
Okay, now I remember. Yes.
A beautiful temple, and then that I think because our driver said he knows this place or whatever, And then it was so fascinating, and we were fortunate when we entered. The Nama Sankirtan was going on there, and we sat there for a while. And the Garbhagriha was so beautiful. The Krishna and Radha there in that form, they were at least 6, 7 feet tall. So what we are doing in the last few verses that we saw of the fourth Dandaka is that you are invoking all of these through the form of music. We are invoking Devi in the form of music. So as I was saying, when we do Nama Sankirtana, one is you invoke the presence of the Ishta, of the Devata, and you're also, the whole environment transforms in a way, because everybody there is the same intent, is to be in a state of devotion, no other intention. So there is a homogeneous intention that is there, and it kind of, whenever there is homogeneity in vibration, it automatically increases multifold. We know this experiment, right? Why soldiers march on a bridge, they don't march as a column, or they don't march together, because if the marching vibration resonates with the vibration of the bridge, then the bridge will break. We've studied this, right? Which means what happens is there is resonance there, and when resonance happens, it multiplies manifold. Vibration multiplies manifold. So that happens in a satsanga of that kind, of a Nama Sankirtanam. It raises the energy of the environment, and because again here it's also mutual there. The environment of the energy, the energy of the environment goes up, and Tennangur, correct, near Vandavasi. Thank you, Mama. Tennangur near Vandavasi. Because the driver's hometown was Vandavasi. He took us on a detour there. So, when the energy of the environment rises, when you are there in that place, automatically there is this, um, there is a sense of spiritual elevation that happens within. Okay? So, this is one thing. Then, what happens after the Goshti goes, also, this aura remains for a little while. This aura remains for, like how you do a homa, and then the aura of the homa remains for a period of time, or you do chanting, it remains. Like that, Nama Sankirtanam also, the bhava, the devotional bhava, and the aura of that whatever is created remains for a while. Which is why a lot of people invite people home to do Nama Sankirtanam. They invite people home to do Nama Sankirtanam. And then you, of course, you're feeding them. Of course, you're doing, in a way, you're doing a beautiful dana. You're doing annadana and so on and so forth. So these few verses is kind of invoking Devi and showing that you love Gita, you love Vadya, instruments, music, all of this you love. I am offering this to you. I am offering you, of which you are the embodiment. Why? You have given this to me, you are giving this. So, out of my love, what can I give back to you? That which you have given me. That which you've given me is only what I can give you. It's like your child buying you something. The child is not of earning age, and you are providing for the child, and you are giving the child some pocket money, and the child will keep some pocket money every month, a little, and when it's your birthday or something, it will buy something for you, but it's bought it from the money that you have given only, no? But the joy of giving that, I mean, you can't say that within a period it's my money only, you got me, what is that? You won't say that, because what you see there is the love in which that is coming back to you.
இதுல வந்து joy of receiving இருக்கும். Mother, when mother knows that she has given the money and the child is giving back,
Correct.
mother is not seeing the money, she's seeing that affection,
Affect, exactly. Correct.
love.
The love and affection is seen there. So in the same way, when we tell mother that you have given me all of this, you have given me the jnanam, you have given me the understanding, you have given me the vidya, you have given me skills, you have given me wealth, you have given me this, I'm giving it back to you with love. Not to portray that I have this, It is not a portrayal of your abilities and capabilities and skill and wealth, and it's not a display of that. But it is out of love that I am giving back what is yours. Tera tujhko, Kabir is really very fascinating. The more you, he's intoxicating, in many ways, right? Like, Tera tujhko saunp दूं, kya lage hai mera. So I offer back to you what is yours. What what do I lose? There is no sense of loss of something because it's yours. I give it back to you. If I'm able to earn so much with my intellect and with my skills, it's because you've graced me with that. And so I give that to you. So, like this, with the fourth Dandaka, Kalidasa is calling out to those deities or those um, forms or energy, those forms that are closely associated with music. One is the Vedas, so Chandasa Amojase. Then Brahma, again he's associated with Veda, and he's also the husband of Saraswati. So in that form, he is also the in a way, uh, he is also um, he is also worshipping her, means he is also in a way, as the creator of the Vedas, he is also offering that back to you. And then you've got Bhaktimat Chetasa Vedasa. So Bhaktimat is um, this line is on Brahma. With full devotion, he is giving back to you. Vishwahridya, Gita Vidya Vinodena Krishnena Krishna. So Krishna, who loves music, is offering music back to you. And then you have Vishwahridyena Vadyena Vidyadharaihi Giyase. So the Vidyadharas are also offering their music to you. Right? So in this way, all of these um, forms or deities are offering back to you as a gift of what you love the most and what you are an embodiment of, and that is this joyful transaction. So what we saw earlier is this transaction in the first two verses. Earlier we saw these transactions are unconditional. They, you don't rely on the other to kind of, oh, because I don't see any value in doing this. It's not like that. You keep doing, you'll probably see the value, right? It's not because you don't see I don't see a value, so there's no point in going to a temple or doing this puja or doing this bhakti devotion. No, keep doing it. At some point there's some value that is seen. Now, how do you define value is also a different story, right? If I define value as my, as my material gains gone up, as my this thing gone up, as my problem suddenly come down, that could happen also. But again, as we said earlier, our Purushartha must be established clearly. Our Purushartha is what? Moksha Purushartha, or liberation, or understanding, or coming to that state of complete Purnatvam inside. And that happens, then if that Purushartha or that intention is established, then when you keep doing these things, you will see something flowering in some small way or the other. That flowering will happen. Are Saraswati and Vagdevi different or one and the same? Hariom Shwetaji. Saraswati and Vagdevi are the same in terms of it's the same name given to, or the two names given to the same person, because uh, Saraswati is the Lord of the Vak. Saraswati Devi is the Lord of Vak, which is why Vedas, her husband is the one who is known to have given the Vedas, which is Brahma. And Vedas is what? Vedas is Vak. So for Brahma to give Vedas out, you require Saraswati. You understand what I'm saying? Brahma is giving out Vedas, but what is Vedas? So Brahma is the potential, and we've spoken about the Shiva Shakti combination, right? One is the potential, other is the energy, the kinetic. The ability, the Vedas, Brahma is giving the Vedas, but what does the Vedas contain is Vagdevi, which is represented by Saraswati. Because for one to be able to receive and to chant the Vedas, you need the blessings or the grace of Vagdevi. Vagdevi is the one who enables the Vak, and which is why Brahma and Saraswati are shown as husband wife, right? Because they go together. Brahma is the father of the Vedas, and Vedas is essentially sound, and sound is generated by Vagdevi. And so her blessing is required for the Vedas to be disseminated, to be chanted, to be even listened to. So yeah, both are the same in terms of just different names given to the same person. Okay, so with that we complete the fourth Dandaka.
புத்தகாட்சியில வந்து அந்த மாமாவோட பஜன் மறக்கவே முடியாது.
Gupta Kashi இல்லையா?
புத்தகாட்சியில இந்த ஹோட்டல்ல நம்ம வந்து and that was before போஜனம். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பஜன் அப்புறம் போஜனம் சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காங்க கிருஷ்ணன்.
Correct. It's totally wonderful. So I'm really happy, Raghu. Great that you're doing this, and I think we should, whenever we get an opportunity, we should invite people to come home and do Nama Sankirtanam. We should call these groups, because that is, they find joy in doing this. They find, excuse me, and by inviting them, we are also promoting this. Otherwise, if people are not inviting them to come and do this, they will also not have a place to go and do this, right? So slowly then it will start depleting. So it's nice to invite them and also keep this culture going. Some stories, Vagdevi is portrayed single. I don't know, ma. See, the thing is, when you're looking at Devi herself, Brahma doesn't come into picture. They're talking about Matangi. Who's the husband of Matangi? We don't know. Who's the husband of Lalita Tripura Sundari? We don't. Is it Sadashiva? I don't know, but she's sitting on Sadashiva, right? He's lying down and she's sitting on her. Who's the mother? Who's the father? We don't know that. When Devi is portrayed as just Devi in some places, she is given the highest position, and this is a Shakta view, right? A Shakta view is when you're looking at Devi, Devi is given the highest position and everything else is around her. So in that context, Vagdevi would be seen alone because your focus is on Vagdevi, not so much on the others. But if you're looking at the Trimurtis, then you have Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and then you have Saraswati, Parvati, and or Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Parvati. So the context in which they are portrayed, that can differ, and which is why you'd see some of this. And particularly in folklores, Vagdevi, the focus is on the Vak, speech, and it is more of a Shakta view. You're highlighting the Devi or the Shakti there. So which is why she may appear. That is all I can think of, but I really don't know otherwise what it could be. Okay. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana Va Prakrite Svabhavat Karomi Yatyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanayeti Samarpayami Sadashivayeti Samarpayami Jagadambikaye iti Samarpayami Sadgurunathaye iti Samarpayami Hari Om Tat Satgurubhyo Namaha. With this we finish the fourth Dandakam.